Welcome to your opening to your Innervision, and I feel like some of you have already been on that journey. And so I got a little bit of your names. I'll just introduce myself. Let's see if I can do a click here. Ooh, here I am. Who am I? Why are we here? A little introduction. I'm just going to do a brief intro for myself so you get to know me a little bit. My name is Amy Starseed, aka Amy Martin. I bring over 20 years of experience in personal development, supporting thousands of people worldwide through coaching, education, activation, soul healing, workshops, and life transformational events. I'm a certified breathwork practitioner, energy and sound healer, and I'm a graduate of Tony Robbins Mastery Programs. And yes, I do have to read this because I don't have great memory. So I'm not going to pretend that I do. I'm pretty authentic. All right, so just doing a little brief. Overall, we'll get to the fun stuff later. Not too lecturing. Let's see what I can. Hello, come on in. Have a seat. I'm just getting started. All right. Just diving in. All right, okay, as everybody's walking in, we're doing brief introductions of names. I know you just walked in, so you are?
I'm Nina.
Nina?
I'm Ethan.
Ethan and?
Jenny.
Jenny?
Leia.
Leia. All right, thanks for being here. All right, moving on, so to the introduction. For the ones who are late, you can read. Amy, sorry, they already know who I am. You can move on to the next one. All right, this is just a little story, you can read it, but basically my story goes this way about, when I was 35, about 2 years ago. I look younger than I am. Maybe it may well say my age, I don't know, I'm kind of proud of it.
Just a number?
It's just a number. But yeah, so I was 35, and I started my spiritual journey already at that point, and but I was married at the time, and it was just this time of my life where I basically, I knew where I was going, but then I was like, I'm going to be a filmmaker, a director, and do all these cool stuff. Then I got married, and that all shifted, and I started to work for his business, and basically I got to a point where I was just living someone else's life, and little by little, I started to just merge myself away from who I am for someone else or for something else, and I was really just living my life for other people. Not realizing that I have this syndrome called people pleasing. And I lost myself. And when I did that, I just little by little just lost myself. And I became so disconnected with myself. I didn't even know what my senses were anymore. I lost what it felt like to have my own senses, to have my own desires. And I basically lost that inner voice, that little inner nudge that would guide me every single day of my life and tell me what I should do. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I not do this? Should I not do that? And then I was at 35. It was my birthday, and I was on the floor crying again. And I was in this marriage, this life that I didn't want to be in. And I was really depressed. And I got a call from my mom, and I answered, of course, and just started going, the same usual thing. And then my mom said something to me that really changed my life. And she said, do you really see yourself doing this for the next 5 years? And I just in that moment, it clicked. I'm like, no. And I just knew in that moment, okay, I need to listen to that part of me that needs to change, that inner guidance, that inner voice that knows exactly who I am and where to go. So I took that leap. That was really the first time I really took that leap. So I packed my bags, and I grabbed my cat, and I moved to Long Beach, California. Anybody from Long Beach? Yes?
Well, I lived there.
You lived there? Yeah. I was there for 15 years now. I just moved. I love Long Beach. So I was there. It was supposed to be a transition, but it ended up becoming my home. And I just showed it to my sister, and I'm like, yep, I'm here. Here's my cat. She's like, ooh, this is serious. To a cat. So I was there, and that was the journey when I really, went into myself. And I was like, okay, now who am I? What do I want? What journey am I going to go on moving forward? And I started to listen to what my inner voice felt like. And that's where this story really begins. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. That's me now. So yeah, I just started to slowly just listen to myself. Like, what are my desires? What does my soul, what is that part of me that just knows and feels like this is my burning desire, this is my passion? And I started to go back into that. And I just, little by little, I was meeting people. And it's funny because usually when you take that leap, synchronistic things start to happen. And that was the first time in my life I felt that. And I started meeting people. And I had this opportunity to suddenly go back into production work, because at the time I was a filmmaker. And I met this person. He's like, hey, I own a production company. And I was like telling my story, like, well, why don't you come work for me? I'm like, yeah, sure. And suddenly I found myself working with this production company. I was working with artists from around the world. And I started to work, we did this big production in Las Vegas. And I found myself like a year later from this, doing this production. I was working with the band Train. You ever heard of that? Mm-hmm. There's a song. I didn't know what they were at the time. Like, who's Train? He's like, girl. But it was cool. And anyway, so I was there a year later working, I was doing production. I'm like, yay. I got to that point where I was like listening to that part, which I knew that brought me to the point where I was doing that. And it was just like this very liberating feeling, and I started to listen to those nudges that says, yes, no, this is your passion. This is where it feels good for you. And yeah, this is just me now, a little insert. So now I'm here, and I help clients who feel disconnected from themselves, who feel stuck in their careers or relationships that they've outgrown, who know they can't stay because they're scared to change, and they need to learn how to trust their intuition and make bold decisions they've been avoiding, and to step into more of the aligned and mission that they're truly meant to be on. So that's just me like plugging in right now. That's who I am. But like, and I think we'll go a little bit further to see. Okay, we're gonna go to that in a second. So yeah, so it's just been this journey, and I know I'm going really fast because we only have like 45 minutes, and I probably don't even know what time it is right now. But like even recently, I did this. I continued to listen to the part that said that now what? What's next? What do I feel passionate about next? And the next thing was to, at the time, I was with my sister and another colleague, and it was an educational business. So I shifted from doing this production work, and as fun as that was, it wasn't like fulfilling enough for me. Like I wanted to like really go further and deeper and serve in a way that I hadn't served before. And so I my sister and she had a partner from Japan that, hey, we want to do an educational business to teach English and American culture. And I had like all this production, but they didn't know where to start or what to do. I'm like, oh, I know how to do that. And so I came in, and then I started a new company, and it was called Fun Opportunity Pride. And that was like in 2012, and we started this company, and within 1 year, we manifested from like working with just 50 students, which felt like a lot at the time, to working with over 100 students, and it grew to working with 500 students. And we did that really fast within a year's time. And then I was doing that business from 2012, and it kept growing until 2020. And what happened in 2020? Everything changed. And so, yeah, I once again had to, like everybody else, everything just stopped. And I had to stop. And then at that point, when I stopped, during 2020, our business completely stopped. It actually was one of the first businesses that stopped. And I didn't know what to do with it. And then I just had to like go inward, just like everybody else. And then I went in, I was meditating, I was learning, and Bashar came in my life. I was learning all these like modalities. I was just going deeper into my spiritual journey, as I'm sure many of us have done. And from that point, I just went deeper and deeper, and then I realized I want to do more through this. I want to like go deeper and deeper and really explore the parts of me that are really authentic. And everything up to that point have always been authentic, but there's always like peeling an onion. You can go a little deeper, just kind of going, what is that true soul's mission? And that's why I discovered in 2020. And then at that point, 2 years later, my business came back. surprisingly. And there's like more to it, but I'm going to spare you all the details. But I started my company, Starseed Circle, at that point. And I started to do the intuitive things. And my jewelry, I also, one of the things I started to do was making activating jewelry, crystal jewelry, which I brought some here with me to show some of the things I do. And these are like third eye activation crowns, and that came into me coming back to my life in 2020. And then in 2021, I started to go out and find events. I was invited to a women's retreat to start selling my jewelry. And that was very terrifying because I was like getting really, really vulnerable to do that thing that, oh my gosh, selling my art is like such a vulnerable thing. Is there any artists here by chance? Oh, you're an artist. You know how vulnerable it is to bring your art out? Yeah, it's pretty scary sometimes. And I did a vending gig, like I think it was in 2019. It was the first time I did a vending event. And I had this fear that I was going to show up and not sell anything. And that's exactly what happened. And I showed up and nothing happened. And not only that, but there was a competitor who did the similar work, which is not very common, by the way. No one really makes clay art like this. It's very, very rare. But in that time, there was this, competitive, whatever you want to call it, competition. But there were teachers for me, really. And they made this beautiful, like, crystal jewelry, and they were, like, right across from me. And, like, I was so terrified. Like, oh my God, my friends are going to go there and buy the work and flash it in my face. And they did. You're like, here. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I'm like, okay, it could break me, or I can learn something from this. And, I chose to learn something. So I actually bought one of their necklaces. $150. And I put it in as a little yes, I'm going to be like you one day. And I learned from them. They became my teachers. And so little by little, after one thing was it's this up and down journey. I was making jewelry and slowly getting it out and then my business came back in 2022. And when it came back, at first it was really exciting and fun, but there was this part of me in my soul that was like, oh, this again. There's just something that I knew inside that I had outgrown. And even though I loved what I did, what I created, there was another mission to serve. But it took another 2 years afterwards to realize, and it more like the universe was coming in like, get out of here. It literally kicked my ass. I had to say it like that. And it was hard, to realize that, it was no longer alignment. And I had to make another decision. I had to accept that was no longer my mission. And I had to make that shift to fully go into my true mission, which is activating art and, like I mentioned before, coaching and really serving my mission. So that's my story. Got that out of the way. There's probably a lot more I can say, but I have a little bit of time. So here we are, the higher self-integration journey. What does that really mean? So this is something I have been working on. I really would love to share this with you, this journey that I experienced. And I just wanted to share a little bit of my story so we can all do this together. So I know I did a little talk, but I would love to connect with everyone here. And I would love for everybody to have the opportunity to go inward right now and connect to that part of you. Right now. And go into that part. And we're going to do a little exercise and journey together. First, to discover what it is for you would like to pull for yourself. And we'll go do a little exercise with that, connecting with everyone as much as we can. And then at the end, we're going to do an activation, which is my favorite thing to do, one of my favorites. And really infuse that. Okay. And I'll share a little bit of the activation. When I say activation, you're like, what does that mean, activation? So one of the things I've done over the years is by connecting with my soul is like soul or the source comes through me. And I talk a lot about my higher self. And really higher self is really just connecting with the divine. And since I've been doing that, I've had the channeling has really, really opened up for me. And I've been channeling all my life. And I'm trying to, it's a lot of information to say about that. But when that comes through, it's like, that's the truth. that is the authentic part that comes in. That is the part that knows exactly who I am, what I do, even if my ego, mind, 3D self has no idea. I know when I can drop into that space, there's nothing to deny. That's the truth. That's where I need to be. So when I channel, I have like these, I call myself Amy Starsky, I connect to the galactic stars. And you've probably seen a lot of that around here, like channelers, they channel different beings and things. And I find it, for me, to be helpful in a way of connecting to my life here on planet Earth. So the activation is really about honing in on that, so you can do the same. So, all right, enough of that. So we're going to reconnect to your inner truth and become aware of certain things about yourself, like patterns. It's very important to know a little bit about who you are with your certain patterns, conditioning, because we're all brought up in different cultures, different backgrounds. We have programming, patterns, and that's like our baseline of who we are. And that's the very thing that can block us. So being aware of that is really important. So why are we here? Does anybody know why we're here? Does anybody answer for that? Yeah?
To experience life, to learn, love.
Nice. Over here.
To discover what you love and share with the world.
Nice. Who else? Casey?
To master unconditional love for yourself and others.
To remember our way back home.
Nice.
Share our gifts with the world.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
To radiate love, you have to find it within to radiate love.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Find out the purpose.
I'm saying one more thing.
Yeah.
To share our unique perspective and also whatever we manifest physically in this plane that would be behind, whether it's music or a poem or a building. Awesome. Something.
Beautiful. Yeah, that sounds about right. We're certainly not here to feel disconnected. We're certainly not here to have knowing the truth and not acting on it. And we're definitely not here to live in fear out of obligations. And and waiting for clarity, not trusting your way. These are the things we're not here to do. What you just said is exactly why we're here. So, especially here in this event, of all places. So, why do we get stuck? Does anybody know? Why we fear?
Adopted beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Limited thinking and old habits.
Mm-hmm. Conditioning?
Society,
Society.
participating in that, and
Yeah.
bills and
Bills. Those things. Paying rent. What else? I saw some hands. Anything else?
Afraid to get the money that I need for producing my new Luminous Labyrinth Center for Peace.
Yeah, fear. Something fear.
It's part of the story, right? That you're supposed to, so you can,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the movie is more entertaining, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah. It's like these stories that we're kind of conveying.
Roadblocks, so kind of similar. Like, yeah, we're all on a journey. Sometimes things are going really well, and then you hit a roadblock, and you have to sort it out before you can move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Anything else? Anyone else? What else? Yes.
The ego is scared of change, so when we want to change and get really aligned and like just go for it, right, with our vision, the ego is fighting us to not change. So that's
That ego. That little guy or girl or whatever you are. That one. I saw you back there. You're good? Yeah. The ego. Jeez. Oh yeah, and that's a whole thing right there. Like it's a whole discussion. Yes, Elizabeth. Did you have your hand up?
I was going to say trauma.
Trauma. Yeah. Yeah. Trauma. So basically, yeah, we have these trauma. We have these wounds, fear, stories. Ego. And ego, well, what is ego? Well, that's a whole topic right there. I'm sure plenty of people and this conference we're talking about ego. But basically, you know, what is ego? This is a very quick way of saying it. Is ego is there to, you know, ultimately once it's trying to keep you safe. But because of these wounds, because of the programming, fear, and things like that, it creates these stories, these blocks that prevent us from, you know, kind of just feeling that disconnect from ourselves. And then what oftentimes happens is let's just call it fear. You have to like simplify the wording. The fear part about us that becomes louder than our intuition. And our intuition, even though we've always had it all of our lives since we were born, you know, it gets smaller and dimmer and dimmer. And I like to compare this analogy, like the intuition is like a gentle breeze. When you walk outside, it's like this gentle breeze. You can feel the breeze, but you just don't really pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's like a windstorm or hurricane, you're gonna feel that, right? And that's what fear is. Fear comes in, it's like, oh, you know, you're like, safety is a hurricane, tornado, you know, you run, or you get scared. But when you feel the gentle breeze, you just sometimes take it for granted, or you don't think it's really like anything. It's still a breeze, just the intensity changed. So what do you pay attention to? What do you focus on? And a lot of times the fear became so strong because of the stories, conditioning, the wounds, and that emotion behind it is really the emotion. And we focus on that. And you know, it's like a yo-yo where one thing comes in and it could be out. And depending on what you focus on becomes more of the reality. And that intuition is like screaming and going, hello, listen to me. Let's do this, let's do that. You're like, no. I gotta listen to this. So the fear becomes that focus, that point that we seem to listen to a little bit more than intuition. And we're taught that at a very young age, you know, and you know, even in the wombs. Okay. What is your higher self? Does anybody know?
Connection to God.
Connection to God.
More source.
Mm-hmm. What else? Anybody else?
Definitely what you said up there. Your inner wisdom makes me think of that.
Yeah. Anybody else? What is your higher self?
The spirit.
Your spirit? Yeah.
I think it's like the oversoul, right, of many of your little selves, right? Like more beautiful, and that's how I think about it, you know? More beautiful and more.
The oversoul.
Yeah.
I love the oversoul.
An enlightened version of you.
Mm-hmm. I like version. Yeah. So this is kind of like a brief description over here. Your inner wisdom, your intuitive knowing, your authentic truth, already within you now. I like to just refer it as your higher self, because it just simplifies it. But yeah, it could be source, it could be God. It's that part that you just know is just true, as I was mentioning before. And how does that normally feel when you have that connection? How does it feel for you? When you feel, go ahead. Home? Calm. Yeah.
Clarity.
Clarity? Safe? Safe, yeah. Safe, yeah, that's a good one.
Affirming.
Affirming? Love. Yeah. Does that feel good?
Yeah.
What does fear feel like?
Dancing.
Heavy? Oh, yeah.
Paralyzing.
Scary.
Yeah.
Sad.
Wow, we have a lot of words for this one. We had to think about the other one. Here comes like, oh, it's terrifying. Like, oh my god. Why are we even here? So it kind of shows a little bit where we're living. Okay, moving on to the next part. The shift. All right, here we go. So we know we have fear, we have love. You know, it's so easily said, choose love over fear. You know, but it is pretty simple in that way. You know, you start to follow that. So basically, these are the shifts you can make: fear into trust, confusion to clarity, numbness to presence, self-doubt to self-trust. So, how do we do that? Isn't that the $1 million question? Or $1 billion these days, as immediately, $1 billion, like, do anything these days?
Other than lots of alcohol.
Believe in yourself.
What's that?
You believe in yourself.
Yeah, believe in yourself. And what is belief like? How does that feel?
Because if you're a natural giver, you just reflect it on yourself and then when you actually do, you'll, oh, that's what it feels like to be putting outwards, right?
Yeah.
And then when you have the opportunity in life to do it inward, you're like, wow, what I've been missing my whole life, you know? And so you have the affirmation in other people that you've been doing your whole life with. But since you're your own judge, it's like when you let go of that, for whatever reasons, you're like, here I am.
Yeah. Here you are. So yes, belief and knowing that part of you that just knows, and you can trust that part. And it can be scary sometimes, because sometimes when you trust yourself, it's telling you to do something completely opposite of what you think you should be doing because of fear. So there's methods to that to help with this. When we're doing this, like how do we do it? Like how do we start now? Like, what if we just like, hey, you know what? I'm done. Let's do it now. How can we do this right now? And we're going to go into a little exercise to figure that out. And right now we're going to learn to ground our bodies, open our hearts, quiet the mind, listen within, integrate, and we're going to do that in a way we can start today, right now. When we leave through those doors, we can implement it. Does that sound nice? Yes. All right, cool. All right. The high self-integration journey. Guided transformation. Then we're going to begin workshop. Okay. So obviously, I could do a workshop for 3 hours on this, and we only have, I don't know, we're out of time, by the way. I'm just checking something. Huh? 6:30? Okay. So we're going to go 6:30. It starts
27.
Okay. So we're going to do an exercise. We're going to dive into this now. And I'm going to do just a little brief meditation, and then we're going to go into activation. Okay. So let's do this. First of all, let's everybody just stand up for a second. There we go. I'm going to do a little movement. Okay. And first of all, let's tune into the energy of fear. Okay. Just feel fear for a moment, and just start throwing some words out. What does fear feel like? I'll start because I'm talking about it. So fear, heavy, pain. But yeah, just keep going. Keep going. Yes. Yes.
Run.
Poo poo. Yes. Monstrous.
Heavy.
Heavy. I said that already. Confusing. Yeah. All right. So how does that feel in your body right now? Kind of like awkward. Okay. So now let's shake it out. I'm like, let's shake it out. Woo. There we go. Shake it. All right. Now just let out. Okay. Now do this with me. Take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. I'm gonna move this for you. And imagine that fear, and then we're gonna just make a sound like ah. 1, 2, 3, go. Ah. Good. Try that one more time. Okay. So think of fear. All those sense. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, release. Ah. Good. Okay, one more time. Once again, think of fear. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Hold to your chest. Hold it. Make it uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. Release. Ah. Good. Good job. I'm trying to move my microphone and I'm screaming it. Nice. How do you feel?
Good.
A little different? A little shift? Okay. Now let's think of love. Okay, let's take your right hand and put it to your heart. Okay, now breathe into it. And with me, just think of love, tune into love. Say a few words that represent love. I'll start. Compassion. Expansion. Warm. Truth.
nurturing.
Acceptance.
Unconditional.
Connected.
Just keep breathing into it.
Held.
Keep going.
Pureness.
Family.
Sweetness.
Forgiveness.
Pink.
Pink. Nice. What else? Okay, like even like rub your chest a little bit. Like rub your heart. Just like nurture that space for a moment. Just nurture feeling that pink energy. I think you said pink. Just feel it. Feel soft. Yeah. Just feeling love. Feeling that warmth. Feeling knowing that that part is always nurturing and warm for you. And this part of you, just breathe into it. Let's take a deep breath together. Hold into the chest. Keep it there. Just feel it. We're all doing it together here. We're all doing it now. And hold it. And then just release with the most loving sound you could possibly make. Nice. How's that feel? You want to do it one more time? Let's go. Okay, now pulling on. Imagine like white light just beaming into your heart. Like you're just sucking in white light or pink light even into that heart space. So let's everybody do that now. So go ahead. Pink light into the heart. All the way in, all the way. Hold it. Just imagine that warm, gentle space of pink just blasting into your heart space. And release whatever beautiful sound wants to come out of your mouth. Beautiful. All right, everybody can sit down now. Just relax into it. We're gonna go into the next wave and just relax into this. And close your eyes if you can, if you haven't done so already. Gonna go into meditation. And now with this space, you can even like, if you feel full, like you want to put your hand to your heart. If you don't, that's okay. Just keep that space of your heart, of that love. And just breathing into it, and just do some gentle breathing in. Beautiful pink warm light into your heart, knowing that there's unconditional love in each of you. And just imagine this version of yourself. This version of you that has these qualities of unconditional love. And what does that mean for you? It means many things for people. And we said a few words earlier. It's like this love, this compassion, this best friend, sister, brother, husband, whatever it may be. And it could be love you have for your pet, that feeling of like endless amount of love. And this version of yourself that has this love in the space of your heart. Just imagine what this version of yourself looks like in your mind's eye. And who is this version that exists within you here now? What could this person, this being, maybe a being of light, existence of some kind of energy, it's boundless. Use your imagination and go beyond what you're maybe even used to, told to, even something you tell yourself. This version of yourself that has what you need right now. That is doing the things, being the things that you see yourself embodying. And without any blocks, or without anything in the way, that being exists, living its life. And what would this being be doing now? Could be laughing, could be dancing, walking, playing, could be traveling, could be doing anything. your being. And you get to expand this part of you without any limits. And in this heart space, this connection to this source, to this energy of your being, this version of yourself that lives within your heart, with no limits, no fear, just love. You just breathe into it. Everybody take a deep breath into the heart. Feel it. Embrace and expand. Just continue to go into this space, imagining this version of yourself that exists now. Living. Be. Love. And maybe there's a place that you're at right now, somewhere around the world, different planet, wherever it may be, let it be. And just go further and further into this journey for yourself. And once again, breathe into that. Going a little bit deeper and deeper. This version of yourself is just welcoming you. Maybe it wants to hold your hand. And release. Expansion. Expansion. And maybe there's people around with you on this journey. Who could that be? If there's anyone who's around you, maybe you're wearing something, or maybe you're exactly where you need to be now. It's exactly where to start. It's wherever you are now, knowing that this version of yourself is here with you, here and now. Continue to imagine this version and go a little bit deeper. I'm going to go into a little activation. It's going in deeper and deeper and travel along with this beach journey for yourself. Soyano so yeah. Shoya no saya so, kasara no ne asha, koshi no me na eya ho, eya ho, eya ho. Koyashi na sho tiasa, koyana. Take a deep breath into the chest. Hold, and everybody can make the sound ah. Slowly coming back into our bodies, wherever you are, slowly, surely. And just take in all of that, coming back into ourselves. And whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. Back home to you. I know that was a brief exercise, and there's a lot more we can do with that. I'm curious to know how everybody feels right now, if anybody wants to share something they went through.
You have the most beautiful voice. So harmonious. It's really a joy to hear that.
Thank you.
I had a really powerful session with you yesterday, and I encourage everybody in here to get a session with Amy. I mean, my past activations with you were like very emotional, and yesterday it was like grounded, but I think the message was to be my authentic self, and like that's all I need to do. Like that's my higher self, like when I'm speaking my truth and just being myself.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I will make that point, because I know in the spiritual world, things get a little bit lost sometimes. You think you have to always be up in the stars. And coming back here on Earth is, we're all here to be here, And we can go to the stars, we get all the beautiful lights and the wonderful things, but also be here and apply everything we're doing into our lives. And we're meant to do that. We get to do that. And we chose to be here. And now everybody's here not by accident. Well, unless I invited you. But we get to take this and spread it to everybody here, into your lives, into all your loved ones and family. Just ensure that. And the most of all, to live by example. Be as authentic as you are. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyways, thank you so much.
One more thing.
Yes, please share.
What was this? What were you gonna share this one with us about?
Oh, just if you wanted to know a little more information about me, I do have a workshop. I have a workshop I'm doing March 8th. I'll be doing much more like work that we're doing today, but it'll be more extensive. It'll be 3 hours, not 45 minutes. So if you're interested in learning more about that, please come find me. I'll probably have to leave this room, so I just wanted to say that my booth is 815 downstairs, and I do have some brochures here. I brought what I could bring, and if you're interested in learning more about what I do, I am doing in-person activations. I have very limited spots right now. How much do I have? Like 2? Yeah. Maybe 2. I don't know.
You have a website?
I do. It's starseedcircle.com, so you can find me there. And if you want to talk to me in person, I know we're going to have to leave, but my booth is 815 right in front of Samothrace House. I don't know where it is, but it's the main vending area, turn to the right, samosas.
Samosas.
Samosas! And the chai latte.
Follow your nose and your heart.
And most of all, follow your heart.